OMB Director Shalanda Young, welcome back to the Sunday Show.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so the budget is $6.8 trillion, $5 trillion in tax increases. It's going to pay for, $400 billion for child care, $400 billion for expanding health coverage, $325 billion for paid leave, $300 billion for free community college and pre-K. Here's the question. The national debt right now is $31.46 trillion. How can we afford this? Won't that just add to the national debt?
So, Jonathan, thanks for this. Remember, budgets are about values. This president says that all the time. It's not just about numbers. It's about what you value, who you're for. This president has made clear with this budget, he's for working families, middle class. That's in stark contrast to some of our friends on the other side of the aisle who want to continue to give tax giveaways to the wealthiest in this country. This president wants to invest in the American people. You talked about some of those proposals. Paid leave is a good example that we think we must invest in this country in order to grow the economy. He also believes that we have to do this all fiscally responsibly. That's why this president's put forth a proposal that would reduce the deficit by over $3 trillion in 10 years. So people in this town like to talk about being fiscally responsible, but this president has actually done it. And this is after he's already presided over a $1.7 trillion deficit reduction his first 2 years in office.
Now, having said that, though, in the budget document, you foresee a budget deficit, the budget deficit increasing to $1.8 trillion in 2024. Why is that? So
remember where this president started. He inherited record deficits from the last administration. That was after they passed $2 trillion in unpaid for tax cuts that skewed to the wealthy. So what I say is welcome to those who are now interested in fiscal responsibility. This president has been there, so we welcome all who now want to talk about it. This president has been doing it since he got in office. $1.7 trillion already reduced his first 2 years in the deficit, a plan in his budget that would reduce the deficit even more by $3 trillion, all while still investing in the American people. Child care proposals, paid leave proposals. You know how you do that? You ask the wealthiest in this country to begin to pay their fair share. Is it right, and the president doesn't think it is, that billionaires and hundreds of millionaires pay less in tax rate than teachers and firefighters in this country?
And one of those billionaires being Rihanna, and there's somewhere between 735 and 927 billionaires in the country. So that's a lot of money you could rake in. You know, one thing that the president's plan is very vocal on is shoring up Medicare, raising taxes on earners making more than $400,000 a year. Where the budget is completely silent on is Social Security. Why is the budget silent on making Social Security sustainable?
So I'll just be very clear about what his budget does. One, with Social Security, the president fully funds. He does not cut any benefits. And we thought that was important to show the American people whose side he's on, given that some of our friends, depending on the day, want to cut Social Security. His budget says not on his watch. And Medicare, the president has several proposals that would extend the life of Medicare by at least 25 years. Some of that is closing loopholes that the wealthy have used not to pay sufficiently into the Medicare system. Other proposals ensure that the wealthiest in this country, those making over $400,000, pay more into the Medicare system. So one, in Social Security, we protect benefits. We say the president, as he has said during this entire debate, will not even begin to discuss cutting benefits. His budget doubles down on that. And Medicare, we have proposals that would extend the life.
On the flip side, the House Freedom Caucus announced on Thursday or Friday that how they want to hold the debt ceiling hostage, and they want to do that by demanding cuts to the climate change funding, eliminating the $400 billion student debt relief program, among other things. Is that a non-starter for the White House?
I mean, it was great reading. I think they put out a proposal. So I applaud them for putting out a proposal and standing behind it. The American people should know what that proposal means. It would mean not just cuts to important programs that support the middle class in this country, like child care, like Head Start, like food assistance. I'd also go after our national defense in a time in a complex global environment. So no one's spared. So I applaud them for putting it out there. But I do question whether the majority of Republicans support this. Is it the majority of Republicans' plan? Is it just the Freedom Caucus? We're waiting to see who stands behind that plan that would entail catastrophic cuts to the middle class.
All right, two quick questions. The Republicans say that this plan is dead on arrival, particularly the higher taxes on the ultra wealthy. Is there any place in that where the president would compromise? Because right now he wants to raise the top tax rate from 21% to 28%, the 25% increase on billionaires. Could there be compromise in the rate of increase?
Well, here's the thing. We're not going to take taxes off the table for the wealthy, because we do have to answer to the American people. Who are you for in this country? Are you for giving tax giveaways to corporations who have record profits like the oil industry? We should close those loopholes. They want to cut spending for families with children who go hungry at night. Do you want to do that? Or do you want to close loopholes for big oil? That saves $30 billion just for itself. So we absolutely want to have that conversation. This isn't just about numbers, as we started with. This is about people. Which people in this country are you going to side with? The president's budget is clear about who he's siding with.
And has the president heard from Speaker McCarthy about scheduling budget talks?
You heard the president when he released his budget. Show us your plan. Now, we got a plan from the House Freedom Caucus. If that's the speaker's plan, then he needs to let us know that.